The moon hung low in the sky as I stood at the entrance of the old graveyard. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, and the rustling leaves seemed to carry the whispers of the past. Armed with my camera and a sense of trepidation, I stepped beyond the wrought iron gate, ready to capture the mysteries that lay within the realm of the dead. The gravestones stood like silent sentinels, each one a marker of a life once lived. As I walked through the rows, my flashlight's beam danced across the weathered names and dates, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and contort with each step. My breath caught as I realized that I was not alone in the graveyard. A figure stood among the tombstones, its form wavering like a mirage. I raised my camera, heart pounding in my chest, and snapped a photo. The flash illuminated the figure, a woman in a tattered white dress, her eyes hollow and empty. But when the photo developed, she was nowhere to be seen. Determined to unravel the truth, I continued my exploration. The air grew colder, and a sense of unease settled deep within me. I captured images of crypts and mausoleums, their doors partially ajar, as if beckoning me to uncover their secrets. It was as though the graveyard itself held its breath, waiting for me to reveal its hidden haunts. As I ventured deeper, I entered a section of the graveyard overgrown with weeds and vines. The atmosphere shifted, the air growing dense with an otherworldly energy. I raised my camera, capturing the tangled undergrowth and the dilapidated tombstones, each one bearing a sense of melancholy. A soft whisper brushed against my ear, a faint murmur that sent a chill down my spine. I spun around, my heart racing, but there was no one there. The whisper seemed to echo in the wind, growing louder and more urgent. It was as though the graveyard itself was speaking to me, urging me to listen to its tales. As I explored further, I stumbled upon a forgotten corner where an ancient mausoleum stood surrounded by gnarled trees. The door was slightly ajar, and I felt a pull, a magnetic force that drew me closer. With trembling hands, I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was thick with a musty smell, and the shadows seemed to writhe like living things. I raised my camera, the flash illuminating the interior, a sprawling chamber with rows of stone coffins. And then, I saw her, the woman in white, standing at the far end of the room. Her gaze met mine, her eyes burning with a mixture of sorrow and anger. Her voice echoed through the chamber, her words unintelligible yet laden with emotion. I snapped a photo, capturing her haunting visage, but when I looked at the developed image, she was gone, leaving only an empty room behind. The temperature dropped drastically, and a cold wind howled through the mausoleum. The woman's voice grew louder, her words taking shape, a plea for release, a cry for justice. The room seemed to vibrate with her energy, and I could feel her anguish weighing on my soul. And then, with a deafening roar, the mausoleum door slammed shut. I was trapped, the darkness closing in around me. The woman's voice crescendoed into a chilling scream, reverberating off the walls. I fumbled for my camera, desperately trying to capture evidence of the unseen force that had entrapped me. With a final, bone-chilling wail, the door burst open, and the room was flooded with moonlight. I stumbled out, gasping for air, my heart racing in my chest. The woman's presence lingered, a faint echo in the air as I fled the mausoleum and the graveyard. Back outside the gates, I looked at the photos I had taken, the images of the woman in white, her eyes filled with a sorrow that transcended the grave. The realization hit me with a jolt. The graveyard was not just a place of rest, but a realm where the dead lingered, their stories yearning to be heard. As I walked away from the graveyard, the moon's glow casting long shadows behind me, I couldn't shake the feeling that the woman's spirit had been trapped within those walls for far too long. The haunting horrors I had encountered had opened a window into the realm of the dead, and the woman's anguished plea would forever echo in my nightmares, a chilling reminder that the unseen forces that dwell among us can be more terrifying than we can imagine.